Okay. So as always, like just before I shine the light on our spotlight speaker, which I know you're all excited and want to hear from, I want to firstly welcome you all. I don't think, none of you are newcomers. I was going to say any newcomers, welcome. But Fidela, welcome to you.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Oh, we're so excited. You can't even imagine. So this network event is not just another network event, really, because I don't believe in doing things just another, because then why do you need this one, right? So this high-flying network event is really in the process of evolving and becoming something that will be your like number one valuable and influential go-to place for your business acceleration, besides for it being an awesome marketing network event. But there's more things coming, so just keep your eyes and ears peeled for the details, because it's going to be something that you're going to really gain loads and loads of value from. So as always, I want to start with opening the floor to each and all of us to introduce ourselves and our business and what we do. And it's kind of an opportunity for all of us to get really loud about what we do, because we know the process of getting clear, getting loud, and getting sales. So there's also, like, when people ask you, what do you do? There's two ways of answering that question. One way of answering is, I'm a business success coach, which then they can do whatever they want with it. But the other way of answering it is by being really clear about the transformation that they will get from your product or service. And that's a really, that's one way of being really clear and really loud about what you do. So like, for example, if somebody would ask me what I do, I wouldn't say I'm a business success coach. I would say I help small or medium-sized business owners to get really clear, really loud, and really booked up with sales using online skills and success strategies. Now that makes you either want my services or not, right? But it gives you an opportunity to see really what transformations you can have. So this is kind of maybe your practice session for your pitch. I don't know, maybe you know it, you're clear already. But either way, opening up the floor to all of you and being really specific about what you do and the transformation that people will get from you is a good practice session for the big, wide open world. But just before I open the floor to all of you, I just want to give you a heads up on what's going to be happening today on the network call. So after you've introduced yourselves, then you can grab your contact links and put it in the chats. And by the way, like, your contact information goes out to the email. So even if people are not showing up live, I send the replay out, and anyone on the live gets a chance to be at the bottom of the email, their picture, what they do, and their contact details. So drop it into the chat box, because that's where I pick it up from. That's just an added gift, maybe, that you get for joining live. So, so after we do the introduction, I'm going to open the floor to Fidela, because that's what we're all here for. Then we're going to open up the networking, the power of networking through the breakout rooms. And you're going to want to wait till the end, because Fidela has a very special gift for all of us who are attending live. And maybe Fidela, if I can ask you permission to send it out also to the ones getting the live replay, the replay.
Yeah, absolutely. What I'll do is I'll provide the gift, as you say. Yeah, absolutely. And you can send it with in your email, obviously. And yeah, no, it's actually really exciting, to be honest. I was really proud of myself when I figured out what I was going to be doing.
Fantastic. We like it when you because we know what's coming. And I also have another little opportunity, whether you want to take it or not, the ones live or the ones watching the replay, either way, to create transformational success habits if you want it, but that's at the end. So floor is open to all of you. I'm just going to go around my screen, and it's not, a lot of us say, so it'll be easy to do. And just share with us what you do, who you serve, and, all of that. So, Fadila, you're first.
Awesome. So this is my practice pitch, lol. Okay, so I'm Fadila. As you're aware, I'm from Melbourne, and I want to do it a little bit differently, just so you can have a little bit of insight into myself. But I'm a natural sort of born dreamer and visionary. So with those traits, I incorporate that with my passion to help new and aspiring coaches who are currently working, because I'm speaking from experience. This is kind of me. So I want to help people who are in their 9-to-5 jobs, day job, who want to sort of escape it and really pursue a life of their dream business, and obviously, creating income out of it, but basically pursuing a life that they want to have, sort of a life by design. So the way they're going to achieve that clearly is by, having the strategies and, the right strategies to be able to create that life that they want. Yeah, that's it.
Beautiful. Chris, you want to go next?
Yeah, I'm Chris Campbell, and I help mainly women who have been impacted by narcissistic abuse build themselves back up to a thriving state by building their self-love.
Cool. Amazing. Don't forget to grab your contact links, yeah? All of you. Ella, do you want to go next? You're next on my screen. You're muted, though. Yes.
My name is Ella. I live in Cambridge, in UK, and I doing many things, to be honest. And now I clarified that I want to help women. Actually, I realized that I'm doing all the time like that. I help speak with people, and I am, like many of you, coach, and I didn't, call that I am coach, and I help them, with many things, sort of problems. It is from me, like, natural. So I'm doing like, I know that women have power inside, and from my experience, I want to help people to find that we can do it much more than we know about it. So I've got many experience inside of me, and I want to share with people how we can change, how we can sort of many things, and how to meditate, how to achieve a lot of things, to be yourself, to go inside, not looking outside. So I'm doing a lot of practice for myself, and I've got a lot of experience, and I want to share people that it's amazing things. So it's like, yeah, maybe maybe later I will share something, but I am so excited inside how we can do it with actually to get access inside of us. Don't look and don't wait for that someone give you something, so we can get everything is around us. So we just to find access to that. So I learn by myself, and I speak with people, I help people as much as I can, and it is like passion from me, from inside of me.
Beautiful, really beautiful, fantastic. And grab your links if anyone wants to get in touch with Ella. The link will be in the bottom of your email. Iman.
Here I am. Hello, everyone. I am Living the Now coach. I help people actually to manage to let go of their past and not to be afraid of their future, and really live in the now as much as they can, create their future in the now, because many people just say, how can you live in the now and create your future? That's exactly where you create it. And I also help people understand what their true purpose is, and I help them live that, create that into, like, we go from purpose to really living it in your, how can you live it in your life and in your world, in your reality. So short but sweet.
Love it. Fantastic. Okay, so it's time. I would highly suggest you get your pens and your papers out, because number one is like learning and hearing, but when
Actually, can I just interrupt you?
Yeah.
Don't worry about the pen and paper, because I've got literally everything mapped out step by step.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So get rid of your pens and papers.
Yeah, no, truly. No, I've got, honestly, all my strategies are mapped out. So, and I'm a step-by-step girl with examples.
Well, I like that even better, because you can really be present right now in the conversation.
Yeah, true. Absolutely.
Notes. Yeah, so fantastic. So practically I've been following Fidela for almost when he started, I think.
It was around mid-March that I created the account.
Wow. And instantly she caught my attention and my trust. And we know from a marketing point of view, know, like, and trust is one of the big marketing rules when it comes to organic specifically. And that's what you just did, like from the word go, from the word, literally from the word, and the proof is in the pudding, because you built your Instagram account really quickly. But not only it's the number game, which I love that bit about you, about what you've done is, it's not just the number game to get 1,000 followers, 10,000 followers. It's actually getting followers to know, like, and trust you, so that like yourself, you, when you opened up the floor as a coach, you had your calendar filling up without you having to go out and sell yourself so much, you know. And that is really about monetizing your Instagram followers, but from start, right? And so I am giving over the floor, because that's what we all want to hear, and that's what we're all ready to implement from today.
Alrighty, no worries. So you don't want to ask any questions, you just want me to share exactly how to go about, or basically my journey, because literally that's the strategy from the beginning to the end.
So let's hear your journey on your strategies, and then we'll open the floor to any questions for Fidela after that.
No worries. Okay. So just a bit of background so you can understand how I actually came about to create this brand new account, and why I didn't keep my old account, is because I've been coaching homeowners how to project manage their build of their home. Okay. Because my background is I'm a licensed builder. So I've been doing that for 20 years, and it was sort of got to a point where I didn't want to do that anymore, and I was trying other things, and it got to then sort of like 6 years after building, I thought, you know what, maybe it's just, I like to teach. I thought maybe I should just coach homeowners how to build their homes. I thought that was my calling. So I'd created an Instagram account, and I'd had a couple of thousand followers, but that took me a couple of years to build. And I decided then that I really didn't want to be part of, I didn't want to do building anymore. That was not my calling. I thought, I've done my dash, I'm over. So it's probably like a bit of a midlife crisis. So then I decided, okay, that was done, and I dabbled in some other things. But ultimately it led me to seeing a carousel on Instagram. So I was just watching, if that makes sense. I was observing. And on this explore page, I found this awesome carousel by Danny Page and Christos, some of the creators in the designer community. And I was so impressed, because I also like to be creative. And I thought, oh my goodness me, I would love to create educational carousels, because I like teaching. But I was also, the perfectionist in me was like, no, you need to watch these peeps and observe what they're doing and learn before you even start. So I spent 2 months watching. And what did I learn from it? I learned, in my mind, I said to myself, okay, I'm going to, well, first of all, I like to be different. So I thought, everyone's got these profile pictures of themselves with a yellow background. That's what mainly people were doing as an example for their profiles. And I thought, okay, my favorite color is blue. So I want to these were the strategies that I was thinking. I thought, I want to create a blue background picture of myself. I knew I wanted to create Carousel, so blue was going to be my color. And I thought, okay, I'm going to create blue. Now, that's not really the strategy. The strategy was more like, okay, so you're going to gate crash this designer community. No one knows you. How is anyone going to follow you? So I thought to myself, okay, I'm going to create a story. And I decided that I was going to, just like people who share their weight loss journeys, they create an account and say, hey, I'm losing weight, watch my journey. I thought to myself, I'm going to create an account called Will This Fly? Meaning, will my account fly? And then rather than, because normally a handle will include SEO terms, so it's searchable. So if you're a coach, you'll have coach in there, or if you're fitness, it would be fitness, like Fitness Fadilla or Coach Fadilla. But that wasn't my intention, because all I wanted to do was to create carousels and see if I can create a following. There was no purpose to sell at this point. I definitely had the intention of monetizing it. I didn't know what I was going to do, because I'd just broken up with my coaching of homeowners, that love-hate relationship with the building industry. So I had created this account called Will This Fly, and then normally under that was the handle. So the next bit down where you might have, like I currently have, mentor for new coaches, I had something along the lines of, so will this fly? Can I grow this account from zero? So it was more of a story. My profile, my handle and everything was a story. And watch me grow and something along those lines. Then my strategy was, okay, right. So if I'm going to start going out and following other people, and they're going to then look at my account, I have to have some posts there. So I created 9 posts that it was like having one big post that I chopped up into 9 individuals, so that as soon as you came to my account, you would see 9 individual posts. So the feed was filled up, but it had a story. You didn't even have to go into the captions. I kind of told my story. In fact, if you do go to my account now and you scroll all the way down, it's actually there. It might be out of whack now because I've been posting, or it may be okay. So that was to gain the attention. I thought, okay, so I'm telling this story because when people come to your account, in my mind, I thought I've only got like a nanosecond to make these people want to stay or follow. So my story on my first 9, I call it my maiden strategy, or maiden 9 strategy, which means I've started this account. If anyone comes to it, I want to make sure that they've got something to read. So I uploaded it with 9 posts, and again, it's a story. So it was kind of like, hey, I'm being vulnerable, I'm showing myself, like I want to grow this account. Will it fly? Will it flop? Do you want to watch my journey type thing? And clearly it mustn't have been done before because it was very enticing. And I noticed that I was getting followers. I think people were curious to see, like, who is she and why is she putting herself out there? In my mind, I rationalized it and said, well, if it flops and I try, well, who cares? Because it's only going to be a handful of people that saw this and could laugh at me. Not that I'm thinking anyone's going to laugh at me, but in terms of, oh God, this is a boring account, this is silly. The whole idea might have been silly. So further to that, I also was intentional, not only about my story, but because I had Will This Fly, and I was thinking it was a bit of a story, I linked it to Netflix, like a seasonal show, because I wanted to document my journey of growth and what I was doing. So in my mind, I thought, oh, okay, Will This Fly? And it's like Netflix. So I called it the Flyflix series. And I even had it, like the N, I had it with an F. And I'm not sure if I was actually surprised or not, if that makes sense, because we all, like, when you create your own content, you can't help but fall in love with it. You think that your content's really awesome. I must admit, I look back on it now and cringe. But at the time, I thought it was pretty cool. God, those carousels look awesome. But like I said, as time passes, you do look back and go, right. But the thing is, which is fascinating, is that it generated interest, genuine interest. Now, the other thing, okay, so I've created this profile with this blue. I've got gold at the moment, but it was like a dark blue, my favorite color blue, to be honest, and a 4-year-old picture, which is highly, as someone had said to me, highly saturated. I'm like, yeah, that's okay, as long as I look 20, it's all good. So like my picture was it just popped. So wherever I left a comment, my picture popped. So in my mind, I was like, okay, I've got the handle, I've got the story happening, I've got the maiden 9, and then I could start posting individual carousels every day. Okay. So what I'm trying to say to you is that it was from 0, but the whole idea was that if anyone came to my account, they could straight away just read what is going on, see the 9, read. They could read the captions if they wanted to, but they didn't have to because the story was on the maiden 9. Then I started posting. Okay, so how did I grow? Because that wasn't going to make me grow without going out there to advertise myself, if that makes sense. So this is the part that most people don't like, okay? But if you're looking to grow your account, you need some time. You need time to invest in growing. How does one, like I'm talking 7-hour days. I literally was on the account in the beginning. Bear in mind, I'm starting from 0 here. I was literally going out to the big accounts and I was going to their carousels and I would click on their carousel. I would go to all the people that commented because if they're leaving comments, it means they're active. Not the people who are liking. Likers are lazy. So I was going to the ones that were leaving comments. So I went to the ones that were leaving comments and I'd go to their account and I would literally like and comment on their 3 posts, but leave like meaningful mini blog comments. That's what I call them. So I did that and I was finding that people, even though I wasn't following them, because I had this thing about the ratio, I wanted to make sure that I was following less and I had more followers. That was just something that in my mind, I thought, if you've got it the other way around, I feel like people get turned off. So I told myself that I wasn't going to care if I wasn't going to follow anyone for the sake of following. And I would only follow if I really, really got value from their account. But that was not my goal to follow anyone. My goal was to put myself out there. So the engagement that I was doing by leaving those comments, that was intentional, but I didn't realize what I was doing, if that makes sense. I didn't realize that my comments were such a big deal. That just comes naturally to me because I am that sort of person who loves to encourage others, and I won't say mean things. And even if something's not right, I will still dance around it and turn it into a positive. So it was really natural for me to just go in there and just say something really, like, for example, especially people who did carousels. I know how long it takes to create a carousel. Like when I started, it would take me like 7 hours of creating one carousel. I mean, once you get better, I mean, clearly it takes less, but I know it took a lot of time. So in my mind, when I looked at other people's accounts, I thought, OMG, that is someone who's invested a lot of time. So therefore my comments would refer back to their carousel to make sure they knew that I had swiped through and read and taken it in. And most people don't do that. They will just do thumbs up, good one, buddy, or whatever. So clearly I was doing something different, but I didn't realize I was doing something different. I only started to realize what I was doing when from day 0, it's actually easy to go and monitor my progress. If you go into one of those analytical accounts, you can see my growth. It's actually quite hilarious. But I think by day 10, I think that's when I got my 100 or 200 followers. Sorry, I think it was 200. Maybe I'm lying. I'm pretty certain it was 200. And people were starting to engage with my content as well, because what happens is that when you're engaging with other people, and you're leaving meaningful comments, which they're not accustomed to, well, then of course they're thinking, who is this woman? She's amazing. I love her. I want to go back to her page and support her right back, particularly as they saw that I had such a few following. And that is what I did. And that is how I grew. But I did spend a lot of hours every day. And when I was talking about when I was documenting my journey through the carousels, when I talked about my growth, because I was getting DMs from people saying, how are you growing so fast? I invented I coined the term, the carpal tunnel strategy. Now, I had carpal tunnel surgery, and that was from being the super duper typist that I was and continue to be today. So I was, some people didn't get it, even though I explained what it was, but, it was basically, I was trying to say that in terms of growing in the beginning, and if you want to sort of fast track your growth, you've got to spend a lot of time on Instagram, reaching out to your ideal client and going into their posts and leaving meaningful comments and engaging with them, basically. That's what you've got to do. And, that requires time. And yeah, like I said, it does, like I was getting risk fatigue. I don't deny that. Now you can turn around and say, well, why would you advise anyone to do that? No, what I'm basically advising is you just need time. You decide how much time you want to invest in engaging and growing your account ultimately. So some people, want to grow, they think that they need to, have thousands and thousands of followers in order to get clients. That's just not the case. I know that there are accounts that got to 300 followers and they were also engaging and with other accounts, and they also started monetizing from there, from that point. So ultimately that is the strategy in terms of engaging in comments. The other type of engagement is when you have people follow you, you literally respond to them in the DMs, and either you do a video, hey, thank you, really appreciate your support by following me. Your page is really wicked, or something lovely. And the thing is, that's another thing I also didn't feel obligated, was I was not going to follow anyone back just because they followed me. Because again, I did not want to create an account that was follow for follow. That didn't interest me. So I think I deliberately worded my DM responses back to people who did follow me by, thank you for following my journey. I sincerely appreciate it. So it was kind of like I was acknowledging, thanking them for one, but sort of acknowledging that they were following my journey. I mean, I guess one could say, okay, well, I don't have a journey, so therefore I have a business. How can I do, how do I do this? I think at the same time, you can turn it around and basically, say something along the lines of, thank you for the support. I sincerely hope that, my content is uber valuable to you. I'm continuing to provide value by whatever it is that you do. Let me know if there's anything that I can create that will be super useful to you. Something along those lines, really. That's all you're trying to do. You're not trying to sell. You're not trying to do anything. You just want to acknowledge the fact that they have followed you, and you're starting up a conversation. And your DMs are, of course, when you have DMs, you've just got all these people. I don't know how many DMs I've got. I mean, some of them are half redundant now, but because I haven't maintained contact with them. But truly, for every person that does follow you, and you will get the follows when you are out there hustling, that's an opportunity for you to connect with them and build a relationship ultimately. The other thing that one needs to consider as well is that, there's the debate about community engagement and then your ideal client. And the community engagement to me is super important, because even though they may not be buying your services or your product or whatever it might be, if they're there liking and commenting and sharing your content, well, when you've got your ideal client who does come to your account, And even though you may not have many followers, if you've got a lot of comments in, you know, like in, when you compare it to the number of following, and like, for example, you would come to my account and you'll see that I've got 1,800 followers, but I have like 300 likes and 300 comments on my posts. Not the most recent ones, because they're not proper posts. But if you look at the previous ones where there's value, there are a lot of likes and a lot of comments. And when someone comes to my page, they're immediately sold, because they think, well, she doesn't have a ton of followers. She doesn't have 10,000, she doesn't have 20,000. Wow. So my comments and my likes are as high, if not higher, than people who have accounts in the tens of thousands. Because once they reach that level, they don't have the time to go and engage anymore. So people that they engage with and they're not reciprocating anymore, they think, and they stop. That's why. So sometimes in a way you can say to yourself, what is the point of growing too much if your engagement, your social proof is going to drop? But I think what's important is that in the beginning, when you are trying to either start your account from scratch or grow it to 1,000 followers, or even revive a dead account, you've just got to invest some time and say, right, I'm going to give myself a month. I'm going to go out there and I'm just going to comment and like and post valuable content too, show up every day. That's really important, by the way. I didn't mention it, but you must show up every day in stories. Try and do an IGTV. And the thing, because that's something that I never did. Oh, by the way, I did not, and I don't know how I even managed this, but I did not show up in stories. I didn't. The only picture that they had of me was my profile, my 4-year-old profile pic. And I also earned the title Queen of Engagement. And I realized that, I wondered why I got that. I thought Mother of Engagement and Queen of Engagement. And then I realized that I was probably the catalyst for all these comments, because people started to then create these big comments in response to people's carousels. So, but I always, to this day, which it's mid-March, April, May, June, I'm getting to mid-July. So it's only been 4 months, and people still reach out to me. People still come to me and tell me that, you know, like, you still wear the crown and you'll always be the mother of engagement. Like, you're the one that taught us how to do this. So I find that fascinating, and I'm humbled by it, because that was just a natural thing for me. But at the same time, I'm not trying to act as if I didn't think about what I was doing. I did. I just didn't know that some of the things I was doing, like the engaging, was such a big deal. And what else do I want to say?
Can I just highlight something, Fadila?
Sure.
I don't know if any of you noticed, but not once did you talk about algorithms or Instagram and this is what works. Your intention from start was people and connection. Yeah. And I think this is what we get carried away with. It's like, how can I scale on Instagram, and Instagram algorithm does this, and Instagram will give you score points for that. And it's not about that at all. It's about when you're building up a following like you did, the ones that instantly know, like, and trust you, then it's about people and what value you can give them. And your comments that you shared on people's posts, because I know I got them too, are pieces of value that not only make me feel amazing that, wow, look what she's responded, but also it makes me feel like anyone looking through my posts get an added value from you. So you've just added value to my post. It wasn't just a nice gesture, like you say, likes are lazy. I love that. But, you know, it's not just let's just do it for the sake of doing it. Your intention behind it was honestly to, you know, people, connection, what they need, what they want. And I really think that is something that we forget about really, like, too often.
I kind of wonder whether this all came about because when we did have the chat the other night, when you said to me, oh, I've just realized you were detached from the result.
Yeah.
And I felt like you'd even opened up my eyes. I was like, yeah, you're which it's coming through in what I'm saying when I say I didn't follow back. I didn't care if you unfollowed me. It was like, that's okay. I'm trying to create a proper account. And if you're going to unfollow, that is because that means if they're going to unfollow because I haven't followed them back, that means they don't care about my content. I only wanted people who were interested in watching my journey to follow me. And if that didn't interest you, then I was like, toodaloos, didn't care. So I think when you have that attitude, it makes things easier because you're like, oh, I think I kept telling myself, and again, I don't realize I'm doing this, but as I'm talking to you about it, I think I just told myself, oh, my content was clearly not for them. So it was like no offense was taken. That was it. It was like, oh God, I don't know why they came to me, what they were thinking, but clearly it's not the content. You know, my Instagram journey is not for them. So I think we do get, yeah. And when it comes to the algorithm, God, someone asked me about hashtags. And what's your hashtag strategy, Fadila? And I was like, I don't know. I didn't sit there creating 3 pillars of hashtags, you know, one from 0 to 10,000 and 10,000 to 400,000 and 500,000 to quadrillion. I really didn't care about that. I just thought, okay, what are the hashtags that apply to what I'm doing? And then I use them. And I did have, I don't know how many hashtag banks I created, but I certainly did. I'm not coming across as I just jumped on there and I was just doing nothing. I thought about it, but the hashtags was too stressful for me. I thought, oh God, that requires maths. I couldn't be bothered to sit there working it out. People say you should update them every 3 months or something. I'm like, oh, once you've figured them out, like you're going to do it again. So somehow I clearly didn't rely on that. I just think going out and finding your ideal client and engaging with them, at the same time, making sure that you've done a proper job on your own account. You've got nice highlight covers. And that's another thing I did too, by the way, with my highlight covers. I had, blue, but with it read watch. So anyone who came, again, what, will this fly? Can I grow from 0? And then it was watch. So it encouraged people to want to see, who is this person? What are they even doing? So, but getting back to a normal account, like I have a normal account now, you have to make sure that the highlight covers are, I guess, appealing. And you've got to make sure that your content, not necessarily like, I look at some accounts and it's just all over the place. But then when you actually go in and you spend maybe, 2 minutes and this happened to me recently. I don't even know what I did in the end because I don't want to get caught up in consuming too much because I've got so much to do myself. But there was an account that I saw and it was a bit messy, but I happened to click on 1 or 2 of their posts and it was bloody valuable. And I thought, those captions were wicked, really, really connecting, like speaking to me, despite the actual post maybe not being, or the whole feed, I should say, it probably wasn't beautiful, but which is, like some people who are looking for a beautiful feed, they'll just bounce. But if there's someone who is really looking for value, they will actually spend the time to have a quick squiz and read. So you just got to try and make sure that your recent posts are awesome. So when you've got that all looking fantastic, then go out there and bloody spend time, hustling and finding these people and leaving comments and liking, and don't just do it today and don't go back. You've got to go back to them. Then if they don't follow you back after, say, like 3 attempts, well, then maybe your content's not that great for them. Do you know what I mean? So I'm not saying keep engaging with someone who's not reciprocating, either not responding to your comments or not liking your, you'll know. And those that do like your content will follow you back. But in terms of the hashtag strategies, I know a lot of people talk about it. That's not what got me. I don't know. I mean, I have looked at my stats And because someone had said, oh, what are your hashtag stats? So I did have a look and I thought, oh, okay. So they must be working, because I did have some high numbers, but I didn't do that. I didn't monitor them. I didn't change them. I didn't try to do anything special with them. I mean, I created a hashtag Flyflix. So who the hell's going to know what Flyflix is? No one. But that was just me, because I wanted to do, I don't know, just doing my own thing, I guess. And I'm just trying to think. It was the DMs and it was the engaging. Truly, that was it. Creating content that speaks to your audience, that really connects with them, engaging heavily through their content and through DMs. If anyone says anything more, honestly, I don't know. That's what I did. And, you know, we don't want to, yes, go. Did you want to say something?
I wanted to ask a question. How often do you look at insights?
Okay. I think in the beginning I did, and I think I was looking at reach, because I had done a post, a carousel, where I took a screenshot. This is back in the earlier days. It's one of my carousels, actually. It'll be visible there. And that probably goes, actually, I'm going to look at it, because I'll be able to.
If you're not all following Fadila, you should be. I'll send you. We'll put it in the email.
Let me see. Okay. All right. So, I wonder whether, oh no, you can't. Okay. So basically I did a post, right? Which was, what date was that? So that was probably about 3 weeks into my journey. And I took a screenshot of because the post reads, every account has followers. And I have a mobile phone with a screenshot. That screenshot shows that I had, in the last 7 days, 1,983 profile visits.
Wow.
Right? And I didn't realize it was a big deal until I had comments from people saying, oh my God, your profile visits are amazing. I had no idea that. How many followers do I have? Oh, I had 629 followers. Yeah.
Can you see? It's just above there. Can you see? So that's the whole post. I just zoomed in, and it's literally, so when you go to your account, you just see it on top. No, mine is not.
No, it's not there, because I've got the COVID thing now.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's right. Okay, fine.
Less
so that's
COVID.
when you realized you need to look at your insights.
Well, no, I was looking at them. I just didn't realize that was a lot. I just sort of was, I was just looking at them. I wasn't really, you know, I looked at them, but I don't know how to explain. I just didn't, I think I was basing it more on my, the number of comments that I was getting, more so than the likes. I didn't care about the likes, because I feel like, again, that likes are just lazy. You just scroll and you just like, just to say, hey, I've liked your post, and that's it. So for me, I was more concerned about the number of comments I was getting. That's what excited me. And then in terms of how many profile visits I was getting, I mean, I'd certainly noticed it increasing. The reach was increasing. I don't know. I just didn't really think too much about it. Like I said, it was more the comments that I was getting. I thought the more comments I got, the more that just, to me, said, okay, people must like you, and they must like your content. And then what had happened was I had got to 1,000 followers by day 26. And I was starting to feel a bit like, okay, what is my purpose? Why am I here? So it didn't take me long to kind of not get bored, but I was starting to think, well, Fadila, you need to figure this out, because you've invested. I should really put a figure on it and work out exactly the number of hours a day that I was spending on Instagram and creating content. I thought, you've really got to figure that out. But honestly, it was more than a full-time job. And then I started to, I mean, I don't have very many posts on my account. And even when I took like a break, I think I must have taken a break for 3 or 4 weeks or something like that. And I came back with a post. I thought, oh my God, I've got to get back into this. But whilst I was trying to figure out what my purpose was, and I wasn't really engaging with anyone. So it's not like so I sort of stopped, and I stopped engaging with everyone. I might have engaged a little bit, but not to the point where I had. And I came back with my post, and I was convinced that no one was going to engage with me, because I thought, well, if you haven't been doing it, well, clearly not. Not at all. I was so surprised. Everyone was like, oh my God, thank God you're back. So it was quite odd, but it happened. Anyway, I then took another break because I still hadn't quite figured out what I was doing. And then when I did decide, which was like, I mean, it's all happened so quickly. That's when I decided that, because I'd also been getting DM requests. I forgot to mention that. This is even in the first 2 weeks, probably even the first week. I was received a few DM questions, like from people saying, hey, how much do you charge to create carousels? I thought, oh, I'm not a designer. That's not what I do. But, and I clearly didn't go down that path, but it made me think about, is that what I wanted to do? Did I want to become someone who was creating carousels? Anyway, point is, if I fast forward, I eventually got to a point where I decided, hang on, I love coaching so much. I've created businesses in the past, successful businesses. It doesn't have to be about coaching homeowners, like that was your past. Don't worry about that. I have so much experience with online marketing in terms of creating, like when I first started back, that was probably more like 8 years ago. And I decided to create a student discount app, which was, it was basically an online desktop app, but it was specifically for high schools. So it was using their learning management system platform. So it was integrated so the students could use the student diary, which was not just a diary, it was absolutely amazing. I created a 100-page PowerPoint for the website person, coder, whoever it was that I commissioned in the end to create. It was like every screenshot, it was full on. When I think about it, my God, it was amazing. So I have been through and that's when I had to learn about, that's where I got to learn about Facebook and Instagram and all of those sorts of things, and webinars and email sequences and funnels and all those sorts of things. And I got to a point where now recently with this whole account, I thought, okay, so what are you going to do? And that's when I decided that I thought I want to help others, new and aspiring coaches. I want them to basically start their own business and just follow steps and execute them. Because one thing I'm big on now is deciding what is it that you want to achieve, right? That's your end goal. Okay, now to get there, what do you need to do on a daily basis to get there? Okay, does that mean you need to reach out to 3 people per day, like 100 posts, comment 50 per day, things like that, whatever it is, lead generating activities, ultimately, like whatever it is that you need to do on a daily basis. That is currently what I've created, if that makes sense, like a checklist of what is required to do on a daily basis to get to your end goal. I don't, like we can all sort of say, oh, my goal is to achieve, like Instagram, I want 10,000 followers. What are you going to do to get 10,000 followers? Oh, well, you're going to spend 7 hours a day on Instagram. That's it. You're going to have to like it, engage with that many people. You're going to have to like with that many posts. You're going to have to share X amount of people's content. That's what I'm talking about. And if you just tick, 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 tick every day, you'll get your 10,000 followers by that point. Or if you don't get 10,000, you fall short and you get 7,000. Well, that's pretty devastating too. So that's pretty much it.
Wow. Iman, I think you had a question for Fadila, did you? Yeah.
Hi, Fadila. I actually have 3 questions. But
sure, no problem at all.
So I have been, let's say, posting daily since December, somewhere in December, and I have 400 followers. I maybe managed to, and that's organically. I started doing some of promotions lately, but nothing came. Maybe 5 people came out of it, 6 people. And I'm struggling it goes from 400 to 419, 420. Anyways, first of all, so I'm still learning and figuring things out. What is a carousel? number one.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Number
Answer that
two.
first?
Sorry?
Do you want me
Yes,
to answer that
sure.
now? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. A carousel. Okay. So when you go to Instagram and you go to your feed, you're either going to see a single image post, right? So it's just one. You can look at it and you can't, or a carousel, which is a single post that you can swipe 10 times. So it's like someone's uploaded 10 images all at once, and that's called a carousel. So yeah.
Got it. Okay. So I assume that you intentionally created all those carousels, right? You had intention behind each and every picture. Okay.
Yes.
So that's good. Another thing is, how did you decide who's your audience? Like, because you started you just wanted to see what will happen.
Okay, that's the easy part, because remember when I told you how I discovered in my Explore, I found Danny Allen Page. He's from the UK, such an awesome bloke. And I also, from finding him, which was a carousel in my Explore, and I thought, God, these carousels are awesome. Like, you can be creative. I used Keynote, my Mac, and I was able to create the title, and then, another slide, and I could start talking, like writing my message, and I could add images to enhance the message and get the message across. And because it was going to be about my journey, well, all my carousels are screenshots of my mobile phone with my Instagram account and whatever else I've got in there that shows how to, like, even organize your folders for creating carousels, things like that. Whatever it was that I was doing, I was documenting.
Okay.
So when it came to finding my audience, because I'd found him, I was like, okay, well, who are his followers? And that's because I was not going in there with any intention I just wanted to be part of this community. I didn't even know it was called a designer community. I just thought, hey, who are these people creating carousels? This is awesome. And that was it. And I went on to his, and I clicked on his, who he was following, actually, not who his followers were, who he was following, because I wanted to know who was he interested in. And that's when I saw all the graphic designers and stuff. But I don't think the penny dropped straight away, if that makes sense. Or maybe I'm just making that up, because when you sort of forget what you felt back in the beginning. But I'm just thinking to myself that I don't think it was immediately clear, because he's not a graphic designer. He was more Facebook ads. So that's why I'm saying to you that I probably didn't realize it was a designer community that I was gate crashing.
Okay.
And yeah, and I just went with that. I thought, whatever, I'm just going to stay with these peeps and see what happens.
So translating that to
what I was doing.
Sorry, you were saying?
I didn't know what I was going to be doing in terms of monetizing. I just thought, I just want to create carousels and grow an account, which is a bit naive, actually, when I think about it. But yeah, I did it anyway.
Well, congratulations. You did an amazing job. So what do you like? Just another question just popped up. Sorry, because you said you were creating them. Where did you create your carousel?
I've got a Mac, which I'm sure most people do, or they've got, so either PowerPoint would be the equivalent for Microsoft, for like just a normal computer, or Keynote, which is Mac's version, the MacBook version, or Apple's version, I should say, of PowerPoint. So I use Keynote.
Keynote and PowerPoint. Okay.
Yeah.
I know this is can I ask one more, Mirel, or am I going? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I don't know how to explain this, but it's been like two times in last 2 days that people have asked me the question, because they're saying you're posting every day. Seems like your posts are doing okay. I mean, they're okay. What you say makes sense. This is their, but you still don't have a growth on your account. And they're saying, already 2 people asked me the same question. Are you involved in some kind of, it sounds like maybe Instagram is penalizing you. Like, are you involved in some kind of accounts that boost your posts? I don't know if I'm explaining this, Mirel.
As in, am I involved in?
No, not you.
You were getting the
you to. How do I understand if I'm in, like, do I have to, like, to specifically go and follow or ask someone or pay someone to, if I'm following those, like, people that will boost me? Mirel, do you know what I'm talking about? Because this is something like totally new. Do you know what I'm talking, Fadila, about? Like, people that will boost your post?
Okay. So, when you mention booster post, you must be referring to where Instagram tries to encourage you to boost your post that you've just made to get it out to more people so you can get more likes and more profile visits.
Yeah, but is
that's
it
something
bot?
different.
Bot? I don't know. I'm not sure. Like,
No. Okay. So basically, that boosting of a post that's just an Instagram making you pay money to advertise your post. So that's you don't have to do that. I haven't done that. Then you have engagement groups. So
yes.
I was asked to be part of 2 engagement groups, and after all the effort that I'd put in and time, not just effort, but the time that I'd put, I was mortified. I just thought, I want to block these people. Don't you dare add me to the engagement, because I was so petrified that Instagram or the algorithm would think that my likes and comments and everything was fake. So basically, yeah, I avoid engagement groups. I don't know whether there's any truth to it or not, but I'm just not interested, because again, that goes against my follow for follow. I'm not interested in you. Yeah.
I don't, so is there a way that I could be involved in something like that, but I don't know that I am? Because
I'm not sure where you go and find out to be a part of it, to be honest. I don't know where these groups exist.
Okay. So I'm not part of that. Okay.
Oh, no, you wouldn't be a part of it. You would know. You would be part of, it would be literally, I think the way it works and the way when I was approached was, it was a group chat or something like that in Instagram. And that's when you know that you're part of that group. So that's because someone had added me from the community and they thought that I wanted to. And when I realized what was going on, I literally left the chat. And I was like, oh, please, algorithm, don't detect that I was added. I didn't add myself. So
right.
yeah, you'll know if you're part of a group because someone's either added you or you've added yourself.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, particularly with the fact that you're saying you hover around that 400-ish followers, truly, I'm happy to have a look at your account at the end of this, and I will give you my honest advice as to what I think you should do. And yeah, I'd be really excited, to help you in that regard. I would love to see you grow. I just want to teach you what I know, and I will look at your account and I'll say, okay, I'll put myself in your shoes and go, what would I do? All right.
Okay.
I'll do
Thank
that.
you.
Oh, I'd love to.
That's amazing.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Fadila? Chris, we can't hear you on mute.
So Fadila, you mentioned about commenting on people's posts. So you went to those high-powered people. Are you saying the people who commented on their post, you went to their page and commented on their posts?
Absolutely. Okay. But I was also engaging on those big accounts as well.
Okay, yeah. And
I was kind of like leaving mini blog captions on the big influencer accounts.
Yeah.
And the commenters within the big influencers, I was also going to their accounts and their posts and leaving mini blog captions or comments, on theirs. And that's when, and I wouldn't follow them, but I would leave the comments. And if they followed back, fine. If they didn't, they didn't. I would follow them if I actually liked their content. So I made that decision. Okay, is this content interesting to me? And I would follow them. But that's not a big deal anyway, because that was not my strategy. That was because I happened to stumble upon an account that I may have liked. But ultimately what you've just said is exactly the strategy. Go into the big influencers, and also it's not even the big, you need to sort of think about, okay, well, who is your ideal client? So therefore, where would they be kind of hanging out? Maybe they hang out on, maybe, for example, your type of client is someone that hangs out on fitness, even though you're not fitness, but you know that they love fitness. Well, then you'd go to the big fitness influencer accounts and you'd be commenting on those. And then the commenters there. I mean, you still want to check who they are, like the commenters. You still go to their profile to say, do they look like my ideal client? There's work in doing this, but I'm saying this strategy works if you want to grow your account to 8,000 or a couple of thousand, and then you're done. You think, okay, I've got a couple of thousand following, I don't need any more. And then you can cut back on your engagement and, and all that work that you were doing, and then probably just find your ideal client and engage with them, if that makes sense. Not worrying about community and all that stuff.
Actually, that's exactly what I've been doing on Facebook, but it hasn't worked very well with me. But I think it's in relation to the types of groups and the types of people. But I think on Instagram, it might have a different impact because it's a different kind of platform, and people engage differently. So I must try, because I've also been doing those like mini blogs on Facebook, responding to their comments and everything.
I think you might want to try on Facebook, which is also part of my strategy as well, is basically just like the mini blog comments, without doing a different type of strategy, would be to kind of write a post. So not commenting on Facebook, but creating your own post within those groups. That is kind of like a bit of a story. You're not selling, you're talking about a story about that kind of addresses. So your ideal client will be able to relate to what you're talking about, and they'll feel like it's them.
Yeah, just the groups that have the people that my ideal clients, they see that as a sales pitch straight away. They're very untrusting of anyone about anything.
Right.
So yeah, they're very cautious, because I've seen other people do those posts and there's almost zero engagement in them.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah, just
I wonder how they're done. I'm curious as to how they're done.
I was going to say,
those story posts.
yeah, because do you mean that, Chris, if you go to Fadila's Instagram and follow her, I don't know what you do on Facebook, but if you look at the posts, they're not intentionally telling a story because I want somebody to buy my product at the end of it all. It's intentionally sharing my story because it's valuable. That's it. So maybe those posts that were out in the group was saying a story with the intention, like, buy into my product, and people see right through that. I think that's what was so special about your engagement and your posts, was your transparency. It wasn't, you weren't pretending to sell, like there was nothing other than what you were sharing, which was the value.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, without seeing those posts, I'm not, like, I can't comment. And I think because when I write, whether I don't know, I just kind of write from the heart, and I'm not sort of, I don't know. I really need to figure out exactly what I do.
I do know there was definitely one where I went and checked her profile to see, because there was nothing in the story to suggest, and she was definitely a coach. But the others are sort of suggesting, and that's why they got into coaching, kind of thing. So
those posts that you're talking about, did they kind of have a story, and then at the end say, hey, but if you want some help, or did they have those sorts of...
No, you're not allowed to do any of that in the groups. I mean, you're not allowed to, there's no self-promotion allowed.
What was it about those posts
they just made reference? So there's one that made no reference to being a coach, okay? Mm-hmm. But the others will maybe say something like, when I talk to my clients, I suggest this, or something. Just so something that that they're actually a coach. So they'll do their whole story, a genuine story, and then they'll just make a slight reference, just like, for me, just like my clients, this is the emotion that it brings out, or something like that.
Yeah, that's not the sort of story post that I'm talking about at all.
Okay.
Yeah, no, not at all.
Page.
The kind of posts I'm more talking about would be more so talking about your own story. Like you're sort of sharing a story about yourself, and you're not talking about clients or anyone. I don't know how to explain, but it's sort of just...
No, I do understand. I do understand completely what you're saying, actually. But just to say that the one post I did notice, I mean, I have lots of different groups that I interact with, but I know in the one there definitely was no mention. There was no mention that they were a coach or anything, but I did go into their account, and they were a coach, and there was no engagement. There was one like on their post, and in my groups they're like hundreds of bloody things going on in there. So
Right, okay. So you're saying they generally do engage, but they're not with that particular post, or you're just saying they don't always engage?
yeah, they're very active groups. You know, like,
but that particular post that was trying to connect with their story didn't get any
no, there was
engagement.
just maybe a couple of likes and a love or something, you know.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, but I'll definitely go look at your account though.
Yeah. No worries.
Yeah, I think you'll get. I think you'll understand a lot.
I don't really focus on Instagram at the moment, but I'm just thinking it might be something for me to refocus.
I think that if you boil it down, I think that content is the thing that got people to, you know, look at it, the eyeballs, so to speak. But it's more the intention and the engagement behind what you did that really got you your fan followers. And Chris, like a little bit going back to what you're saying, as in like it didn't work for that person, or it didn't, there's obviously like a disconnect there. It's the only thing, because otherwise, if it's a really engaged group and people engaging on all the posts, but this one they didn't engage on, there's a disconnect there. And 9 out of 10 times, I'm telling you, it's the intention. I know from my own journey as well. It's like, either you want to give value just for the sake of giving value and people will buy that from you, or
I think the other thing is, I think the groups I'm in, the people spend a lot of time in victim mode, and they're not very often, they're not looking for a solution. So I think that's the other problem.
I hear what you're saying too, because I mean, you're dealing with, you know, like that's different. Like if you think about it, I mean, not only are they in victim mode, but maybe funds are an issue as well, I can only imagine.
Yeah, funds are definitely an issue, yeah.
Yes. So they would be like thinking that everyone's trying to sell to them. They're thinking, I'm here because I just want you to help me heal. I don't have funds or time to worry about investing in you trying to heal me and have to fork out lots of money that I don't have. So of course, I'm just putting myself in that situation and thinking, no. I don't have money. Can you help me without, like, can you help me without having to fork out any money? Then I will embrace you, because I'm imagining being in that situation. So I think your group is really tough because they've already got lots of issues.
But I think like Morel and Iman will tell you, my posts just add value. There's almost no selling whatsoever on there. Then they always just say, you know, if you'd like to do your self-love journey, then give me a call. But the post itself is normally a technique or a tool or something.
Awesome.
So I think I am on the right wavelength there. But the story thing, I'll have to look at, and maybe they just, you know, I need to rethink about which groups are going to. But that's Facebook anyway. We talk about Instagram. I'm going to.
Yeah, that's okay. But I think that Facebook has, like, what I'm saying to you is that, in a way, Facebook is a great opportunity because people who are on Facebook are there. They're the ones that are asking the questions. It's Instagram don't ask questions. They're just sort of liking whatever you provide. No one's saying, oh, great post, you know, there, and can you teach me something further? That doesn't really happen. But Facebook, they do that. Oh, does anyone know a solution to this particular problem?
Well, actually, just to mention, I'm actually just about to launch a Facebook group, which is solution focused only. So no harping on about what a dreadful time I'm having or anything. You post, you're looking for a solution, other people comment, or you post about what you've tried and it's worked well, you know, how it's worked well. So that's what I'm aiming for. But not necessarily also to encourage them to utilize all different professionals and resources just to get themselves out of their funk, kind of thing. So I'm hoping that will somehow do something.
I just wanted to add one more thing, because I'm sort of thinking about what you do and I'm putting myself in your shoes. I'm saying, okay, what would you do, Fadila? How would you connect with the people in those groups? And I would literally write a story about my own struggles, right? Because we all have a story. And it may not be that you're a victim or anything like that, but somehow, why are you driven to help these people, these women? What's driven you? That could be your story post, that connection. You're trying to build a connection without selling anything in those particular posts for Facebook. So for me, it would be your story. It wouldn't be a case of starting it off saying, hey, you know, I can't, you know, I decided to go down this path because of this reason. You've got it to tell it in a...
I think I've already written my story. I think my story, I don't know, Mirelle, Iman, I don't know if you can remember my story. It's very much like that. And just about my journey in getting to where I am now.
So
you could maybe break up that story again and do it into smaller posts.
Mm-hmm. Or make videos. How about videos?
It was
talking about it.
The video.
I was actually going to say to do like a 3-part series of your story, because again, I'm imagining being this person who's just gone through hell, and they need to connect to someone, and they can't connect with, I mean, they're going to connect with a long post, but it's different when you're actually listening to someone, watching them, their facial expressions. And then it's like, again, I'm going back to Netflix. It's like, oh my God, I need more of this. There's a part 2. Oh my God, thank God. There's a part 3. And trust is through the roof. You've won them over.
Oh, okay, that's a really good idea, because in my story I don't go into in depth about each of the relationships. I just you know, okay, that's a...
I mean, you can be very, you know, decisive about what exactly you want to share, because you don't want to air out your laundry, but you want to connect it. I mean, I'm not teaching you what to do, if that makes sense.
You do when you air out your laundry.
But I guess what I'm saying is that, you know, you're going to be a bit picky as to what you're going to disclose, but the point is you still want them to be able to relate to you. So you're going to, okay, well, is that shareable? Damn, will it ruin my life if I share this? That's all I'm saying, you know.
In my community, the gorier the better, really.
I guess, I mean, look, I haven't experienced, you know, I haven't had those issues in my life. I've had a fairly, well, my life has just been safe the whole time. So it's not that I can't relate to these people, and I can imagine, but it's not the same as going through it, of course.
Yes, and I've become comfortable now about sharing my story and being completely open about it. It was very difficult in the beginning, but it is really what you need to be able to do to be able to for others to be able to relate to you in this kind of problem. But that's a lovely idea.
Amazing what you do, honestly.
And can I have another question, please? Just quickly. How much
going anywhere.
How much time do you spend on it now, on your Instagram account?
All right, so that's another thing that I'm now...
How many months in on your coaching journey?
Okay.
On Instagram?
Yes, on Instagram. Okay, so let me just, what are we now? We're July, so it was June. It was probably, I'm just trying to think actually. Was it mid-May? I think I decided that I was going to do the coaching, and that's when I was like, right, I was reaching out to people. And then I did a post, and then I had someone who literally commented in the comments saying, I'd like to partner with you, you know, to do coaching. So he was quite visible, you know, in terms of he didn't DM me, he made it quite obvious. So, but he was the 4th client that I had got by that point. So it was mid-May, towards the end of May. And I finished up with 3 of them, but the 4th, that particular guy, his coaching is a little bit different, but I've got another 4 weeks with him, and potentially even longer. So I've been creating my content as well, in terms of kind of making it up as I go along with them, if that makes sense, because I tailored it to the 4 of them. It was 4 different types of coaching for them, because one was a salesperson, a mindset type theory business. The other one was UI, UX, the website and apps, mobile apps that she creates. And then this particular guy that I'm talking about, he's an ex-NFL player. So he's actually got a really big vision where he wants to impact the youth that get into sport. He wants to help them navigate it, but also like mentally in terms of making sure that they're okay. Yeah. So I've had to sort of tailor everything around them. So really whatever I've done to date, I'm like, oh, it's not like just an online course that you just go and do. It literally was tailored.
Okay.
So I'm just trying to think. Yeah, that's what had happened. So that is at that point when I said to you that, well, when I was telling the story, I was like, hey, I can't keep posting for the sake of posting. Like, I've got to do something. Because I also was thinking, do I teach Instagram? That's another thing I was thinking. I thought, oh, I might do like a membership and do weekly tasks of, right, this week we're going to be doing this particular task and I want you to go out there and action it. So I was thinking that. And then I decided, no, I don't want to do that. I really want to help people create these businesses and just action the tasks that need to be done in order for them to go out there and run their own businesses ultimately. So rather than just doing Instagram growth. And I think there's so many people who teach Instagram. And
okay, so that's lovely. So it's the coaching element incorporating Instagram rather than Instagram incorporating coaching.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So really, I don't talk about Instagram as being my main strategy. I've got like lots of strategies that I want to use, like for example, doing, evergreen webinars. That's something that I'm going to be doing for myself, but I'm not going to be teaching it because I think it's too advanced for the people that I want to keep it simple for them. I don't want them to get overwhelmed because there's like even creating websites, for example, I'm trying to teach them to use MailChimp because it's for free. It's in beta, but it's for free. Like go in there and just create something very simple to get you up and running. I don't want these new coaches or these people that want to start their businesses to think, oh my God, I've got to have a wicked website and I've got to have the best opt-in or freebie. The strategy is overwhelming. Like I won't even be pushing for 7 hours a day of Instagram. That would be, I'd be saying, listen, this is what I did. Now you can cut it down to 4 hours or 3 hours or 2 hours, but whatever time you put in is what you'll get back. You need to decide what you want. Do you want 1,000 followers or do you want 10,000? How fast do you want?
6 coaches. That's what I want. No matter how many followers. 6 coaches a day.
6 coaches?
Yep. Coaches. Sorry, coaches.
Oh, yeah.
You're like, what? Sorry.
Yeah, I just thought if I missed something.
Coaches.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah.
No, that's good.
I think that's how we should be thinking, Chris. What is it that we really, as you said, want from it?
Yeah, I think that.
Yeah.
That's your clarity. That's your clarity, where you're going, your intentions behind your whatever you do. Well,
That's why I was saying that we need to document exactly what it is on a daily basis that we need to have a checklist. And that's what I believe in. First, I believe in the mindset. I'm thinking like that's my number one module. I'm like, I'd rather spend 2 weeks on mindset and 1 week on defining your niche and your audience. I'm like, that's easy. You just market research quickly, reach out to some people who are your ideal client, DM them. Like we can fast track that, but mindset takes longer. And that's something that for me, I believe that, in fact, I'm doing a podcast. Well, actually it's an Instagram live tomorrow, but it's going to be repurposed into a podcast. So I've got that tomorrow morning. And he sent me the questions across, and one of the questions was, ultimately, it basically says, success is ellipsis. And I looked at that and I thought to myself, what is success to me? And I thought, well, I mean, to me, it's not a house or healthy children or $1 million or whatever. That, to me, I mean, healthy children, gosh, that's important. Don't get me wrong, but I'm, in my mind, I think I've come so far in life. I'm thinking, what is important? What is success? And I thought to myself, it's a controlled mindset. Being able to control your roller coaster of emotions in 1 day, in 1 hour. You can be like, right now I'm on a high. I'll get off, go into the back, I might see something or someone says something and that triggers me. And all of a sudden, I am starting to think, no, whatever it might be, like, no, you can't be a coach. Not going to happen. But no, you can't be a coach. So what I'm saying is you can control that by being aware of that sort of inner dialogue and say, hold on, I know what you're trying to do to me. I think I got a lot of this from Outwitting the Devil, by the way. Napoleon Hill. I'm like, oh my God, are you kidding me? We have these disgusting voices inside telling us all these horrible things that we can't be or can't do or whatever it is. So I feel that I'm aware of my internal dialogue, and as soon as something happens, I just say to myself, as in like I hear myself doing that, I'm like, I know what you're doing and you're going to stop that. And then I have to reframe what I'm thinking. But you've got to be conscious of it. And I'm saying that if people can become conscious of what they're thinking, know what's happening, go, oh my God, it's that bloody voice. Just know how to deal with it. And then, so to me, success is that controlled mindset, because if you can control it, you can have or achieve anything. That's ultimately what I'm saying. So why I got there, I can't remember.
But we got there anyway.
It's about not focusing on any specific strategy. You focus on mindset first in your coaching program.
Yes, gosh, yes, thank you. Yeah. And then I was just trying to say that. I was trying to ultimately say that once you've got that right, then it's a case of going, okay, where do I want to go? What do I have to do every day to get there? You know, as I said, you know, comment every day X amount, and appear on stories X amount per day. Whatever it is, get that checklist and just do it. Don't think about it. Just do it. And just treat it as like you're in autopilot. This is something that I need to do. And you're not really thinking about it in any which way or form, except for just like a calendar where you're just marking the days and just saying, okay, well, you know, I've got to do this for 100 days. Because that's what people do on Instagram, actually. They have these 100-day challenges, and it's 100 days of posting every day, a carousel. You're aware of that, Morel, aren't you?
Yeah, I want to create 100 days something in this group, but it's coming soon, yeah.
So what I'm saying is that they do that, and then they know that by posting every day for 100 days and being consistent, showing up, engaging, no one says you'll have, you know, X amount of followers, because no one really knows. They just know that you're going to grow in the thousands. Mm-hmm. But what I'm saying is it's a checklist every day. Okay, I've got to post today, got to comment, got to do this, got to do that. So whatever it is that your goal is, I mean, like, okay, so what I've done right now as of Monday, I've opened up about my weight loss. So that was something, I mean, I haven't appeared on stories or anything, and all of a sudden I've just popped up saying, oh, okay guys, this is me. And I talk about my struggle with my weight, because I've always prioritized my family and my business, but never myself. I'm always last. Anyway, so now I'm just documenting it first thing in the morning. And the interesting thing is that I feel like, oh my God, I have to report on whether I've done my exercises. But I'm actually seeing progress. It's day 4 already, and I've got a slightly slimmer face. No, but on a serious note, I just created the highlight cover. So I'm now just saving them to my highlights it says watch rather than fitness. And I thought to myself, oh my God, that's going to be quite visible now of my facial sort of evolution from being a bit round to, and I'm only doing that to kind of, to connect. That's my connection. Rather than like, how else can I connect? I mean, I don't know, like that. This is intentional, but it's actually me being selfish and trying to get some results for myself.
We love you being selfish.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, this was amazing. Wow. Do you want to share with us what your special gift is?
Okay, so what I've done is I basically collated all my carousel posts, the ones that are specifically, that absolutely outline all my steps, because I'm a step-by-step person, examples of how I write my comments, and my strategies for reading other people's carousels. So like, how is it, reading carousels is very time consuming. So when you're trying to grow and get to everyone, you think, oh my God, how do I do this? So I've got my little strategy on how I do it. and how to comment so you're not spending 10 minutes on someone's post. I mean, bless them, but we don't have 10 minutes to give just to them. So I've got all of those. Now what I've done, I've collated them and put them into one ebook. And there's about 110 pages of my carousels. But again, my carousels are quite in depth. And rather than having to go to my account and look and scroll down, I've put them all together in one big document for easy reference. I'll be truthful, I was excited. I was like, how did I not think of this? But it just dawned on me yesterday because I was starting to write, because I had told Morel that I wanted to write down my whole strategy. So I sat down yesterday and I thought, oh God, I've got to think back what I did. You know, like not think back what I did, but I thought I've got to write. Like, I just knew there was a lot of content. I thought, oh, but I want to share this and I want to share that. Somehow it dawned on me that it was already there. And I just thought, that's another one of my, I went back to my clients and said to them, oh, by the way, because one of them, the sales guy, he was struggling with creating his freebie. I've told him what to create, but he was just struggling to getting around doing it. Anyway, so I messaged him saying, oh my God, go and collate your best sales content. And he came back and said to me, you are amazing. I said, yeah, I know I'm a bit late to the party, but that's okay. Create an ebook out of it. So yeah, I think, you know, there's no reason why we shouldn't reuse or repurpose our content into something. If you've already put in all the work and it was your best work, put it together and create like a library. So anyway, that's what I'm doing. There's so much there. Honestly, there's just so much. When I haven't looked at my content in ages, but when I did look at it yesterday, I honestly was kind of gobsmacked at what I'd created. I thought, wow, you did this? Like, it was just full on. Yeah. I mean, I really poured my heart and soul into those posts and sharing everything. I was really transparent. Anyway, that's it.
That is fantastic. So we're going to put that link to the ebook on the emails as well. That's going to be sent out to you in 24 hours from now.
Yep.
And the chat box is empty. If you want to put in your contact details, guys, I'm going to copy it and paste it and put it on the emails as well. So anyone who wants to get in touch with you can do that. We've kind of run out of time, but I think this was a perfect breakout room. There wasn't so many of us on it. So we'll call this as our networking breakout room. And instead, I'm going to leave you with this one other thing I wanted to talk to you about, was creating these success habits for your morning, for your whole day. So creating these success habits in the morning positions you in a place all day to see opportunities and to receive them and to go and take them and create phenomenal success for yourself in your day and in your business. Now, I've done this with some of you in the past, but I thought that I'm going to do this again, where we create an accountability group. Now, waking up at 6 a.m. is not a piece of cake. I know that. And it needs commitment and it needs momentum. And in an accountability group is the best way to create those two things, commitment and momentum. So if any of you want to join me in an accountability group for morning success routine, then we're going to create that. Again, I will put all the details in the emails, in the Facebook group, by the way, as well. I'll put them there. And we're going to start it next week, Thursday. So it just gives everyone a bit of time to sleep in the morning, carry on doing what you've been doing till now. And then from next week, Thursday, we're really going to crush our days and our weeks so that we can get the success that we are after in ourselves as well as in our businesses. It's not just about business. It's about what you spoke about a little bit about this, healthy mindset. This is a huge, 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 helpful, valuable tool to use for yourself. So, that being said, I also want to remind you one other thing is the Facebook group that is designed for you for your implementation, so we can all be accountable for each other, with each other, for our success. So this week, if we are going to be intentional and take what Fadila has shared with us and the strategies that she's sharing with us, maybe you want to start it tomorrow after you get the link to her ebook, and literally create for yourself a roadmap, what you're going to be doing over the next couple of weeks or month, and what your intentions are for the end, and put that in the Facebook group, and so that we can all be accountable for each other. And if you haven't yet in the Facebook group, introduce yourself and what you do that too, so that we can all you know, share off each other and support each other and grow together in business. And hey, Sharon, yeah, was that your name? I can't see your name on screen anymore, but thanks for joining. And I'm looking forward to seeing you next week. Same time, same place. We've got another amazing spotlight speaker. Her name is Curls, and I'll give you loads more detail in the Facebook groups. But really look out for her.
Can I just say one thing?
Yes.
Fadila, I'm sorry. You said you were going to look at my page. How are we going to do that? I know it's
I'm
over
literally
now.
just looking. So
Did you put your link in the group?
hey, actually, you know what? Actually, you know what?
Yeah.
DM me.
Okay.
If any of you want me to have a look, I'm happy to have a look. So if anyone, yeah, just DM me, and I'm happy to have a look at your Instagram accounts and give you my honest opinion.
Thank you.
If you're happy with what you've got, don't worry.
No.
I just thought I'm happy to offer it to all of you. Like, yeah, I mean, I don't want to sit here saying that I'm an expert, but I feel like I kind of get it. So yeah, I'd be happy to.
For all the live attendees, right? That is
Yeah. No, well, look, you know what? At the end of the day, anyone that reaches out to me, truly, that honestly, you know, I will devote to it, and then yeah, I'll commit to it.
Fantastic. Really
Thank you
appreciate
so much.
And if you're not following her, sorry?
I am, yeah.
Like I said, cheers, Fadila.
Yeah.
Great.
Oh, thank you. And like I said, I'm so excited, and it's kind of like when you've got people asking you questions about it, you think, okay, well, I know what I've done. I can have a quick squiz at yours and just see what I can suggest. That's it, you know. And I just feel like that. I promise you that as long as you've got valuable content, and you go out and engage, it's going to happen. That's how I feel.
Yeah.
So
Thank you.
yeah, no worries.
Thank you, Morale.
Thank you so much. Thank you for attending, and thank you for sharing, Fadila. And I appreciate all of you madly, and I am here for your continued success.
Awesome. Thanks, Morel.
Thank
Over
you.
and out. Thank you so much.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.